Welcome back. The countdown has begun. The players have gotten into the lobby, and we're going to be seeing Entombed Valley for game number 3 here between Creator Prime and StarTail Bomber. Frodan, what do you think of this map in this particular matchup?
I think, well, Entombed Valley is really nice for a Terran player. I mean, we've been seeing this pick multiple times throughout the weekend. If a Terran player feels a little bit, on the edge, like, if he wants a momentum swing, in this case, it's the game of the tournament for them. If they lose, it's out, and then they can't advance any further. Entombed Valley is a strong pick, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and introduce our players. Starting in the bottom right, we have the blue Terran player. He is on StarTail. He's one of the best Terrans in the world mechanically.
He is Bomber.
That's right.
And over in the top right-hand corner, the players switching up colors on us this game. We'll get that fixed for you in just a second. We have representing Team Prime here in the lower bracket of IPL 5. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Creator.
All right, so on Entombed Valley. We've seen all kinds of styles. Gateway rushes are pretty strong. I don't think that's Creator Prime's MO. I mean, he's not known to be like that kind of cheesy player. He's more of a macro-based player. We've seen Creator win on this map against Tasia early this tournament through just solid play. Like, he just would expand at a time. He would go 3-gate robo, and then he kind of sensed Tasia was playing really greedy. Everything was a little bit off time, so he dropped the third nexus a little bit sooner and got away with it, and then was able to tech up to the ultimate army composition with 3-3. Nothing could stop him. At the same time, Bomber has a lot of aggressive options. He's a guy that really likes poking, prodding, whether it's through drops, whether it's through, early pokes. I don't know what Bomber's really planning, although I do know that he's not going for early factory this time.
Yeah, so we see Bomber switching it up again in game number 3. No gas being taken from in the early game, just that barracks going down, so it's likely we're just going to be seeing a 1-Rax gasless expand from him, and Creator scouts this on the first go, sees exactly what Bomber is doing, and he must be feeling pretty confident against Bomber's style here, because Bomber's used to being so aggressive. Like you said, he tried it on game number 1, and it didn't work too well with the Hellion harass, so Creator's going to be feeling good in the knowledge that he's making Bomber switch it up a bit, I think.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that Bomber won't poke with like early Marines.
Oh, for sure.
Once he gets a couple more barracks out, it doesn't even necessarily mean that Bomber will be aggressive at all. He could just completely switch it up and play really passive. He can play that style. It's just not normally natural to Bomber. And ultimately, it comes down to whether or not Creator can really deal with any kind of mid-game pressure from Terran. We've seen him be able to handle most of it if he can get his units into position. He knows what's coming. He usually has the Stalkers in position. It's just that Bomber's pretty crafty with how he drops. I mean, the Cloud Kingdom game was a good example, right?
Exactly, yeah. But let's see if Bomber ends up going for something similar this time. We have got the second and probably soon to be third rack coming down from Bomber. Well, let's see if he ends up skipping that. We've got the bunker going down on the low ground as well. And both players really just they're playing a pretty normal game thus far. I'll be interested to know what the tech choices are a little bit later on, going up to that 3 barracks now. Yeah. And any predictions for tech coming out of Creator this game, Froda?
Well, he's still on 1 gas. No second gas. That makes me feel like, okay, never mind. He's going second gas right now. Yeah. It's around 4:30 is around the same time. 3-gate robo is pretty much what Creator likes to do. That's why Twilight DTs felt like so weird, out of the norm for him, and that's why it was a brilliant choice. Bomber, I mean, we pretty much know what he likes to do. He likes to stagger barracks, but that's because he's like to squeeze them out a little bit faster, and he is more Marine heavy usually. Game number 1, of course, he squeezed out more Marauders, and that was just because he felt he needed more meatiness to his army, but it paid off in dividends. Yeah,
it really did. That last engagement in game 1 was great, and we are going up to 3 gates as well after that expansion coming out here from Creator Prime. We have a tech lab going down now for StarTail Bomber back at home. So all very, very normal stuff here. And Creator.
4th gateway. Yeah. Is he just going to stop at 4? Huh. Well,
I wonder.
That's, again, very non-Creator-like. But this is cool because that means Creator is not just falling back to this one-dimensional predictable play. He's mixing it up with 4 gates, so he can put on lots of pressure. Actually, you might think 4 gates, how is that any different from 3? But it just gives you a lot more power because 4 Stalkers allows you to pretty much one-shot Marines ish if you can get nice poke in. It's a really nice little comfort zone, but at the same time you do sacrifice a lot of time on your tech. I'm wondering how much damage Creator can do here.
No, that's a great point actually. He's getting those extra units out are going to be really, really useful for Creator at this point. He has got a couple of forward pylons put down on the southwest position, and he's also, I think, got one in the center of the map. But actually, that might be a probe. Stalker just going to be scouting around to double check everything is looking normal at the front of the Terran base. He can't see anything up the ramp just yet. He might give it a bit of a poke, but has to be a little careful as another forward pylon goes down now. So we have a pretty strong 4-gate pressure coming down from Creator. Let's see how much damage he can do against Bomber here.
And he does have a lot of sentries incorporated into this mix. He's gotten around 6. And that, if he can get good force fields, he can go for a good bust. This is not necessarily the oldest variation off of one base, but we've seen lots of variations of this type of aggression. And Bomber does have 2 barracks and a lot of Marines. We're talking about how he likes to lean towards Marines. Oh, Bomber sending 1 Marine. He sees a huge influx of units, and he has to know he's going to add more barracks at the start and also put another bunker up.
And here we go, guys. The engagement has begun. The Zealots at the front. Force fields to try and prevent a repair on the bunkers. Creator looking like he really wants to break through here. The first bunker is going to go down. The second one being targeted on Creator, starting to lose the meat at the front of his army, though. All the Zealots have just been taken out, but the second bunker goes down as well, and he's now kiting the remaining Marines. Needs to be careful to keep a hold of the sentries, though, and Creator is actually getting a lot of purchase in this attack. Could he just win here, Frodan?
I mean, the bunker is about to drop, and it does. And Bomber does manage to trap a lot of the units with the SCVs, but still he's losing so much of his economy. The Marines do eventually rack up and push back the range of the units, but now only Stalkers can come out, and this is where the sweet spot is for Creator. If he can continue to kite and continue to poke, oh my goodness, a lot of SCVs pulled for Bomber. This is like the remaining shreds of his economy.
That's right, 17 workers killed and counting by Creator here. The Marines are trying to push that army back non-stop, but Creator doing such a good job, and this is why the second base from these 4 gates is so useful. He can just constantly resupply units while continuing to make probes back at home. Creator doing a great job here. He's, what's the worker count like? He's up to 46 versus 29. This is some serious pressure Bomber's having to withhold.
You know, it's really tough for Bomber to hold this, but you know, Creator has sacked a lot of his tech in order to do this. Now he is very far ahead economically, and moving out for this third base is, I mean, he can do it because Bomber has to kind of, you know, salvage something. But you know, Bomber has a small window where he can drops with his initial 2 medevacs to still pressure, and he does have stim, he does have +1, and that's very significant considering, again, Marines, everyone always jokes, right, about how strong they are, but don't underestimate how much you can, or how powerful a Bomber drop can really pull him back into this game.
Yeah, no, you're completely right there, Frodan. I mean, the DPS from the Marines, of course, pretty much the highest around, so really, really useful there for Bomber should he want to maybe sneak in a drop and try and pull his way back into this game. He has to spend time at home now just rebuilding his economy and making sure no additional pressure comes out from Creator. That's why you see him a little bit turtley at the moment while he consolidates, and Creator's going to try and use this time to make up for lost ground on those tech routes, grabbing that third nexus. That pressure off of 2 base was just so good.
I wouldn't be surprised to see if Bomber tries to sneak in another third base similar to what he did last game while dropping with his initial 2 medevacs. You know, he also could just add, I mean, he's still on only 4 barracks, so it's not like he can really pump out a lot of units on full resources usage there. So Bomber does end up starting that third base, and he's going to move out. Now Creator, he has all the momentum in the world. He's starting Blink. He does have his Observer coming out, so he could spot. And as long as he shuts down these drops, Creator will be sitting in such a good position because he'll be on 3 base.
And that Marine, oh my goodness, I don't think I've actually seen a unit disintegrate quite that quick before, but he certainly knows what's coming. Immortal with the army composition taking that Marine out. Bomber's moving out across the map now. His +1 armor is going to finish very shortly, and he has Concussive Shell just finished. That Observer didn't quite see that double medevac drop popping up here, and Bomber's going to try and get some purchase in on the third base, and this could do a bit of damage if Creator doesn't react quickly enough.
And Creator's his attention is occupied by this small little biopack. He thought he was going to try to snipe it, but Bomber can also just pressure this front while double dropping. Is he going to go for the third or go for the main? I think going for the main is a better move. He is, and there's a small little nook where he can even take out Blink.
Chrono boosting it out now. Creator knows he needs to get that Blink out, and then actually Bomber changing his mind last minute, going into the third base location as well. Another couple of dropships in the natural expansion. Bomber's trying to hit on a couple of fronts, attacked the multitasking capabilities of Creator. The third base drop is doing reasonably well here, but we do have Creator bringing back with those Zealots, able to tank that damage, and now Bomber diverting the natural expansion drop into the main base. He's going to be dropping that back as well, and the third base drop actually is still alive. This is looking really nice for Bomber. Such great pressure to follow up after getting a bit of a setback earlier on in the game.
Beautifully done by Bomber to really pull himself. Look at this, he's just completely juking the army 3-4 times over, also pressuring the natural front and still dropping to the main. This is where Bomber excels, and he's still macroing. His third base is now secure. He's going to target down the robotics bay, still drawing away the attention of these units. Creator has to do something. Oh, he's going to get the robotics bay, and he's going to save his medevacs. Incredible play from StarTale's Bomber.
The medevacs have been left alive through this entire engagement.
He's just going to win here, George. Something's Colossus.
Oh no, that rally point, and well, we do have a lot of... I mean, there are a lot of Zealots out. He might be able to chase them away. The problem is Bomber's in too many places at once at the moment, Frodan. And as soon as he starts cutting them away, Concussive Shell has been researched in this game, slowing those Zealots down. As soon as those numbers start dwindling, Creator's going to have such a difficult time reinforcing. I think Bomber might have done it here. 106 supply versus 63, and goodbye upgrades.
Well, that means, the upgrades can't even help him at all. Creator has nothing going on. His production is in shambles. His economy's in shambles. He's pulling his probes. This was such a reversal from the beginning of the game. Creator Prime looked like he had a nice position if he could just hold on, but Bomber is going to try to pull this game out from the depths. GG! And Bomber advances into the next round of the losers bracket.
What?
Are you kidding me? This guy.